moving from brand to the day-to-day operations, it's about getting to the product. At Telenet, we figured out that owning shops, because our mobile brothers always told us it was very costly, bad, and many other things, we stayed away from owning shops, and we built out our own retail network. Till last year, we stumbled across a Bell company in Belgium, a retail chain of about 50 stores, and we said, we've got to move into retail now for one simple reason. You cannot be successful in mobile if you do not have your own mobile presence, because our own retailers wouldn't take our mobile product in volumes because they're also the retailers of Proximus, Mobistar, and Base. So all of a sudden we found that our most successful dealers couldn't carry our full product range. Secondly, installation. I'm going to say a minute about it, something more. And of course, customer care. Those are things I think all of us in the industry have spent a lot of time on. And we have scars all over to get it right, but I think, broadly speaking, we're getting there. Here you see a picture of the Bell Company store. What is interesting as a story, when we bought Bell Company, we did not yank all the other brands out of the store. We said to Proximus, Base, and Mobistar, you can stay. Stay with us. We're a good store. And times are difficult, so none of the competitors left, and they all stayed, and we just added Telenet Mobile in there and our other products, and it has been a success, because by keeping your competitors happy in your own stores means that you keep the footfall, the traffic, and therefore it remains a financially a viable proposition. This is our man that rings at the door, and he doesn't ring actually, he SMSs you twice before he shows up. What we figured out is, in order to reduce the number of no-shows from customers who aren't at home, we SMS you the day before, the morning, and in fact a quarter of an hour before we arrive at your home to ensure that the customer is there and we can do a quick installation or repair session. Customers perceive it as a big win because they feel that we spend enormous amount of time catering for them to make sure that they understand what time we show up. So that has been a great win-win in the business. The other thing is we have decisively said we're going to pull back all the customer care people in-house. We were 75% outsourced. We're going back to 70% this year, hopefully, if Patrick succeeds in doing that. 70% in-sourced call centers for one simple reason. Telenet people are more passionate about their job than anybody else. And, there were times that we said you should do this outsourced, more flexibility. The churn of your call centers is sufficiently high that if you want to change down, you can do that. But you can still have those people trained yourselves and more committed to deliver the story that you believe in. Maybe quickly moving over to our products. I'd like to run you through voice, internet, and then close with digital TV. This is the most amazing story. We worked with a consultant I will not mention because they're in the room. And with them a few years ago, we did big research. And we figured out that young people care about fixed telephony. There is no young family in Europe that's going to start a family having kids and trust the babysit's GSM phone. They all want to have a fixed line. And as a result, the number of fixed lines in Flanders the last few years has risen. I remember when we went to the stock market in 2005, people were hammering us for still staying in fixed lines, and that was a business of the past, etc. This is the reality. There are more fixed lines than ever, and probably Skype is successful too, I don't know. When we look at broadband, that's a story we all know, and this is more for the people in the room here who are not on a daily basis employed by a cable company. But obviously, cable and Telenet alike, we're going for the 3.0 solution. We're also pushing massively fiber into the network. And the big challenge for cable is going to be the in-home situation. And there will be alike for our competitors. But the issue today is that people, when they perceive their speed on the PC, and maybe that our connection is great, but that the in-home situation just degrades it because they have a router, they have a Wi-Fi modem that has limits. There's all kind of stuff that we're going to come across in the next few years that we will have to find solutions to. And we all know that the customers do want to have the service, but they don't want to pay really the cost price that it will take to deliver. If you do it, in a black way, you pay people cash, then it works as an economy. But that for a company that has all kind of public regulation is probably not the way to go. But that, I think, is a big challenge. Security is another one. We will have to invest more in security. People will start to use the internet more. Broadband penetration will rise, but this will be an important thing. What are we going to do different with DOCSIS and the future? It is all going to be about the things you see on this sheet. It does make a difference. We, like many of you, launched our 3.0, and we did it a couple of weeks ago, a demo, and the demo contained a set-top box that ran an HD movie. Then we had 2 PCs, and the 2 PCs together streamed 3 HD movies, and we still had about 70 megabytes left of browsing speed and capacity. So it is going to be a massive difference, and we're going to do different stuff. And there will be other companies that will develop new applications. Here you see this in perspective compared to the copper and the mobile world. And basically you see that we're ahead of the pack, and I think cable can do an outstanding job, and we shouldn't be shy of that. And if that prompts our incumbent competitors to invest in their networks, so be it. I think Manuel made a very valid point. Cable has invested more than twice as a percentage of the revenues compared to the incumbents. It's about time that some governments take less dividends and leave more money maybe for them to invest. That is the proper choice. No subsidies should be involved. A very quick sheet on B2B, and this is something that may seem very mundane, but is so obvious, and we're so near to overlooking it sometimes. Many of our corporate customers use a DSL network as their primary network and have cable as a convenient backup. But with the advent of 3.0, it's not only about speed, it is also about quality of service management. We can do a lot more that we couldn't do with DOCSIS 2.0 and that ADSL and VDSL yet could do. So we have a first big bank in Belgium that said, you know what, we're going to take cable first and put DSL in the primary because we think that the broadband connections over cable are just markedly better. And we were recently at another prospect, it isn't a customer yet, and they said, listen, forget all the integration and platform services. Our biggest worry is we have to connect to about 1,000 branch offices, and daily connectivity uptime is our biggest problem. TV. Cable moved from analog TV, where we had so little value to add. All we had is a great network, and we had this plug in your home, but otherwise we're pretty invisible, other than the channels we provided, but there was no customer interface from a cable point of view. We're now in the digital era, made great progress. I mean, in Flanders, we pushed real hard on HD because we said there's another win-win with the customer. It's great to push to your customers HD boxes, but the reason we did it is we didn't want to trade those same boxes in 2 years from now when you would have the MPEG 4 HD boxes. So we said we might as well get it over with. But what is really great in cable is this. This is, by the way, our latest interface that we have announced to the press about a week ago, and it's going to go live in the month of May as we roll it out to more customers. On the right-hand side, you see the web PVR, and again on the right-hand side, you see the same application running on an iPhone. Now, this is what I think massive. Cable all of a sudden is not providing the network, it is providing the user experience as we always dreamt about it, and I think we play a more important role here in the future if we do it well. The only issue is that we still do this in a fragmented way in Europe. If you read from the press in Barcelona, the mobile conference, that all the mobile guys have now decided to make one application platform to unite against, the big other guys that they feel threatened by. How could we in cable not do the same? How could we spend and make our own investments? A user interface from Germany to France, Belgium, Holland, I think at the end of the day is very much the same thing. People watch TV in a very similar fashion. What we also did with our platform is we made it open. We were hearing a threat, from all kind of people, said you will lock us out of the customer relation. We said, no, we don't do that. We'll give you your own freedom to our platform. And if you pick up a development tool like you could do for Windows or Apple, you can develop applications actually very cheaply on our platform. What we also did, very decisive move a number of years back. We developed video on demand, not ourselves, but in close cooperation with the broadcasters, and that has given rise to many, many uses. And it also shows that the consumers really feel good about it. Many of the broadcasters have a much closer relationship with the TV viewer than we have. And you see here, the vast majority of our VOD usage is coming from broadcasters who generate that demand. They activate that market. I think they'll be good drivers at it. And so we do that with partners, and we leave even those partners their own brand identity. iWatch, Seymour, Evermist, it says in Dutch, are all sort of brands of local broadcasters. So those broadcasters really feel at home on our platform.